Well, hello, and welcome to the Legacy Insights podcast. This is the Mov'n Mike, your host with the most, and we're starting out today with episode number 14, the dramatic need and what you need to do. Coming to you live right here from West Palm Beach, the Breakers Hotel in Florida. Sunny, 85 degrees, beautiful weather, beautiful views, blue sky, blue ocean. So we're going to jump right on into today's show. We're here to discuss entrepreneurship and the financial strategies to guide you to your goals and dreams. Simply put, we're going to provide insight to get your mind and your money right. Okay, so it's time to let's get smarter. The dramatic need and what to do. I got my trusty show notes here, as always. Listen, guys, right now, millions of Americans are being squeezed from both sides. Parents are being are struggling. They're aging out. They're feeling stuck in the middle. The question is not if there is pressure. The question is, what are you going to do about it? That's it. What are you going to do about it? So you can sit there and you can talk about what is not going well and what it is, but there are some solutions, and we're going to dive right into those. This is not about money. This is about responsibility, identity, and legacy. So the call to action here is going to be, by the end of this episode, we'll know exactly where you stand and what moves you need to make. The reality is there's 6 generations in financial need. The breakdown in generations basically are this. It's the silent generation, they're in survival mindset. The baby boomers, they're working hard, retiring, and they're not feeling safe. There's Gen X, they're feeling independent, but they're still stretched thin. The millennials, they're having opportunity, but they're still struggling. The Gen Z, they're digital, they're fast, but they're financially lost. And Gen Alpha, it's too early to tell, but we're watching to see where they go. Okay, so the key insight here, we're living in a time where all generations are financially connected, but they're stretched thin. And they created this pressure that is pushing down on them, right? So what is the main pain point that we're going to be touching on? One generation's lack of planning becomes another generation's burden. Okay, so that's where we are. That's where we are. So we're going to break it down like this. The sandwich generation, that's the Generation X. I always talked about Generation X being the sandwich generation. And that's because they have their children at home, coming back from college. They have this high financial debt in place. And then they have their parents who are still living longer because of the miracles of modern medicine. They're actually living longer, and your children are having to take care of their parents. So they got the kids coming home from school, they got aging out parents, and it's just really tough on that sandwich generation. Baby boomers are facing longevity risks, right? I just talked about that. Living longer, wanting to live at home, don't want to go into nursing homes, right? They're outliving their retirement savings because of poor planning, okay? And then just the dependence risk, right? Who's going to take care of them, right? Millennials are drowning in delays, right? Like they're late to home ownership because, right, prices of houses are so high, right? People are not able to, these millennials are not able to actually own a home because of the high rising prices, student debt, and they're playing financial catch up, right? Gen Zs, they lack direction altogether, right? I'm not saying all Gen Zs, but the majority of them, right? The high income potential, low financial literacy, and social media influence. So they're caught up in this area. They're caught up in that, right? So what happens is the core message, the core message here, this is not random. This is a system of delayed financial education and poor planning. That's what it boils down to. Okay? That's why this show is so important. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Go back to previous episodes, the Legacy Insights podcast. This is season number 2. Go back to that season number 1, tap in with me, make sure that you're watching these episodes and getting the most out of them. Okay. So why do these differences exist? Right? That's the question. Well, let me break it down. There's economic shifts. Okay. inflation, job insecurity, rising cost of living, lack of financial education. I told you, um, financial literacy isn't enough anymore. It's financial IQ. Okay, knowing is not enough. So what did you know? So what you know? The bottom line here is really, what are you going to do about your unique situation, and what tools are you applying to your exact situation once you know where you really are? Okay, that's what this show is all about. All right, cultural mindsets. Spend now, figure it out later. Right? Retail minded. Okay, everybody's spending money. The economic, the retail space is just really, really, they're really going. Right? So that's what's happening here. And they're trying to keep up appearances. Okay, that's what really happens here. Everybody's trying to keep up appearances, keep up with the Joneses, and it's really not working for a lot of people in middle class America. Okay, there are some people who are really doing well, and there's others that are not. So the older generations, they're just cautious about their finances because of the way the stock market is, and the high cost of healthcare, right? And the younger generations are just impulsive. So these are the things that are combating these different generations. So like I said, there's 6 generations in total, but they're all feeling the same economic pressures of financial, a lack of financial planning, and that's what we're trying to address here today. So what do? Now we need to deliver value, straight talk, and no fluff. You got to organize your estate with wills and trust. You got to communicate your intentions and reduce the burden on the family. So these are pillars: guard and align. Okay, different generations, same problem, not enough strategy. Guard and align. Baby boomers, they got to protect and focus on stabilize their income. Okay, so secure income streams, annuities, pensions, social security strategies, eliminate unnecessary risks. Right, these are for the baby boomers. You got to downsize if needed. Okay, a lot of people their families have grown, kids have moved out of the home, so now maybe instead of having that 4 or 5 bedroom home, now you maybe need to downsize to a 55 plus community, townhomes, um, moving into more affordable living situations, right? Stretching that dollar even further, right? So that you don't have more month than money. Okay, so that's pillars, guard and learn. So we're gonna stop gambling with your retirement and start protecting what you built. That's what the 2 pillars are: guard and learn. Now, Gen X, this is critical for you guys, right? You're playing catch up, and but you gotta control too, right? So how do you catch up? You gotta control your spending. So what it boils down to is you gotta max out your retirement savings. Okay, create multiple streams of income, and life insurance is something that is a tool nowadays. It's not really just all about dying, right? Life insurance is a tool. You don't have to believe in it, you just have to use it, right? It's one of the new financial strategies that everyone's using now: IULs, index universal life policies. They have cash accumulation, compounding interest, things of that you can put to use for yourselves when you overfund those types of policies. Okay, so that's what you really want to do there when you're getting into life insurance. There's the whole life policies. Term is good for like mortgage protection, things along those lines. So if you have a 30-year mortgage, you want to basically have a 30-year term to cover that mortgage, right? And you buy down insurance. Okay, so you want to max out your retirement contributions, create multiple streams of income, and use life insurance as a protection, asset protection. Okay, so call to action here. You don't have time to guess anymore. You need to plan. Okay, so we're going to stay on track. And now we're going to focus on the millennials. Okay, they got to build and grow their financial wealth, right? So how that really works is this: you have to budget with intention. If you don't have a budget, you don't have a strategy, you don't have a plan, it's almost sure failure. Sure failure, right? So you invest early, even in small amounts. Eliminate high interest debt. Okay, so you pay down your debt and you put more into your retirement savings. That is really the key for most millennials. Okay, So those are pillars: learn, elevate, and change, because it's all about you. It's about changing your behaviors. Okay, so that's what you really want to do there. You're not behind, you're just unstructured, but you can fix that. So Gen Z, they have to focus on the foundation and discipline. Okay, you have to learn money basics right now, avoid lifestyle inflation. Now, I know they talk about inflation as a whole in price of goods and services, but see, lifestyle has inflation as well. You're keeping up with the Joneses, trying to impress people you don't even like or you don't even know, right? So you want to make sure that you're being strategic about your spending and about the lifestyle that you're living, right? Because it always gets greater later, and that's really what that means, right? Uh, you want to have a good time. You really want to spend money on things that you need. You need um, necessities over niceties. Is what my slogan is, right? Necessities over niceties. Okay, so you can win faster than any generation, but only if you're focused, right? Because they have the greatest possibility of wealth creation with these Gen Zs. Okay, so that's really the power there. They have a greater opportunity for wealth growing. So Gen Alpha, right? This is different, right? Teaching and modeling. You got to teach good money skills early to Gen Alpha. Show them about saving. Teach them about investing. Uh, Break that generational cycles of retail minded spending, right? No more of the lifestyle inflation, okay? To impress their friends, wearing the best this and wear the best that. Lifestyle inflation will take you out sooner than any other lifestyle trend. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here. So I'm going to bring it all together. The key message here is every generation is connected. Every generation is connected. Every decision impacts the next, right? So it's like that rock and pebble in the pond. When you throw that rock in the pond, those ripples go out. That's what happens when you don't have sound financial strategies. Everyone is affected throughout the family, and that's what you want to protect. Okay? If you don't fix it, your kids will have to carry it. So that's really, really the situation there. So we're going to tie this all together here in the with the legacy, the framework. The first one, you got to learn it. Then you got to elevate your income. You got to guard your assets, align family values and conversations about money. You got to change the mindset. And then, of course, it always comes down to you, right? That's the legacy framework, all in itself working out. So, and you do it for you to change the legacy impact. So, my final call to action for all of my listeners out there: identify your generation, act accordingly, have the conversation with your family this week about lifestyle inflation. It's not just at the supermarket. It's not just at the gas pump. It's lifestyle inflation. You don't have to impress people you don't like. You don't ever even know. Stop avoiding your finances. Stop avoiding them. Have those conversations. All right. So the challenge this week is write down your current financial position, your responsibilities, who depends on you. Because if something happened to you today, what's going to happen to your family over the next 12 months, the next 36 months? Will they be able to survive without you if you don't have the proper protection in place? These are your next three moves. Okay? Write down your current financial situation, your responsibilities, and your next three moves to get your mind and your money right. So your situation is real, but so is your ability to change it. This is a Legacy Insights podcast. We're here to help you, to guide you toward your goals and your dreams. Simply put, we're going to provide insight to get your mind and your money right. And I want to thank you very much for the privilege of your time here in West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm out.